What's up, dudes and dudettes in the internet? My name's Seth, and today we're going to be taking a look at Trove's new token system, the table itself, what's going to end up happening with gem re-rolls and stuff like that. This is pretty much the last bulk of information that I have currently as I'm recording this from the Chinese test server. So I wanted to kind of split these videos up rather than just exploding a whole bunch of new information on all of you. But this is very, very interesting, but at the same time is also a little bit scary because of the pay-to-win methods that could end up being implemented with all of this. So before we get started, I just want to say, how you doing, folks? I hope you're doing fantastic. Strap yourselves in, get yourself some snacks, because let's get right into it. So first and foremost, this is going to be a screenshot and a translation of the new daily, what do they call it? The daily token crafting table or whatever. So this is going to be new daily tokens that you're going to end up getting as you log into Trove every single day from July and onward. And the way that the table is going to end up working is at the end of July, any of those daily tokens that you ended up getting out of July are going to suddenly change over to the next month. And during those next 2 months following the first, you're going to be able to pay to win buy the tokens from July. So you're going to be able to buy and get any of the previously obtainable items for the 2 months after the current event, right? So the thing that's kind of scary about this is because the devs have confirmed that any of the dragons that are going to end up being in the month are going to cost, what was it, like 18 or 19 tokens. So you're going to have to log in for 19 or 18 or 19 days potentially. And then the mount, which the first one they've confirmed for July, is going to end up being a flying carpet that you're going to get for 8 souls, right? So with that, it means that you have to pretty much log in for at least 27 days of the month in order to get both the dragon and the mount itself. Now, the reason that this gets a little bit tricky is because of this new item right here. So, crafting material, a physical receptacle for captured light, used to augment gems, which adds stats and power rank. It is found in boons of various celestial paragons at the Radiant Dayspring in the hub and from events. So the Radiant Dayspring is the crafting table that I was referring to when I said the Dayspring table, the token table, right? So that means that this new item is going to be exclusive not only from random events, not random events, but similar to the Dino Attack event. It's probably going to only give you like a couple of them or something, right? It's going to be a new crafting component that you can spend your daily tokens on at the new crafting table. And you can end up, like at the new crafting table, you can spend your tokens on getting a box. And that box is going to end up containing this new crafting material that can end up increasing your stats and power rank. Now, immediately, you know, this is kind of exciting, but at the same time, the pay-to-win implications are absolutely insane. Because this means that free-to-play players are going to have to make a choice. You're going to have to decide whether you want the dragon, the mount, or potentially to end up getting this new material so that you can end up getting more powerful. You're not going to be able to choose all of them. So ultimately, I guess that, you know, gets to the choice of mastery or progress towards your character. And with all of the stuff that they've been talking about lately and all the progress towards your character actually becoming stronger, the subclasses and stuff like that, it tells me that U10 is right around the corner, if not going to be their next update after the Shadow Tower. Maybe they'll even sneak it in with the Shadow Tower update. We'll see what ends up happening. But ultimately, you know, this is a game changer because it means that you know, people are going to actually, like, the last thing that was not pay to win in Trove kind of was the gem system. You could pay to win your empowered gems. You could, you know, buy Radiant Sovereigns, and then you can end up getting empowered gem boxes through that. And then you could just kind of force pay your way to end up getting perfect empowered gems. But now the lesser gems was the problem, and the randomization of the lesser gems, which we'll talk about that in a minute, the gem randomizing stat values. But now they've actually got this extra component where you can actually add stats and power rank. So potentially making your gems super powered and even stronger. Now, we'll see what happens, because again, this is a bit of a gray area, because maybe you can only augment and level up your gem to, let's say, level 30 instead of level 25 by using this new component. Or maybe just in general, you can only use it once on a gem to end up increasing the stats. Honestly, I very much doubt it, because of the fact that the tokens are going to be pay to win. You can end up buying them for the following 2 months after they were taken out of the game, which potentially means that pay to win players are going to be able to buy their way past strengths that free to play players will completely be unobtainable. So we'll see what ends up happening with that, but let's go to the screenshot that shows off the randomizing stat gem item. So this is very, very interesting because this right here is in the gem tab of the Adventurer's Crafting Table. You can see we've got the Stellar and Power gem boxes, the Lucky Horseshoes, the Lapis Bugs, the 9th Life, and then we've got 2 items on top of the 9th Life. Potentially, are these going to end up being new items that have even greater chance of actually leveling up your gems? Maybe these are going to be items that you would use to increase the stat value on your gems to being, you know, maybe it's a chance of it increasing. I don't know what those 2 extra items are, but the fact that they both look very similar to one another tells me that there's something, you know, they're probably not any of the things that I ended up speculating about. These are most likely going to be items that you're going to end up using with the new gem re-rolling or gem crafting table, I guess I should say, because the item in question that we're looking at right here, which actually costs a lunar soul and some type of other item, which makes me think about the Everdark immediately. That's what Startos was saying as well when I was, you know, we were kind of talking about this. It looks like it's a new item that's going to be obtained from the Everdark. Maybe it's something from one of the new Shadow Tower bosses, if not the Dreadnought. I don't know. But the item description, Gem Augment. A spark of primal chaos bound into containment field and awaiting a gem to interact with. Used to reselect stats on gems at the Gem Forge. Crafted at the Adventurer's Crafting Bench. Now, this is a big one, because this means that we're not going to be able to re-roll our gems without this item. And as you can see, we've got Lunar Souls as a requirement. So unless the devs potentially end up adding some type of method for us to actually pay to win our way to getting Lunar Souls, it means that re-rolling your gems is going to be time gated. You're not going to be able to re-roll your gems. You know, you'll be able to re-roll your gems maybe, let's just say that it takes 1 Lunar Soul. So for the week, you get, what is it, like 3 from Daughter of the Moon Ultra or something? I honestly don't really count. Let's just say it's 3. That means you're going to be able to re-roll 3 stats on a gem, if not 3 separate stats on 3 separate gems. So we'll see what ends up happening with this. You know, the fact that it's in the gem crafting section tells me that maybe that new item right there might be another item from the token section. I don't know, you know, it's got me a little bit worried. At least re-rolling the gems is going to be something that free-to-play players are going to be able to access. It seems like it's something that we're going to be able to grind, but the fact that we're not going to be able to grind infinite Lunar Souls per week, you know, means that it's time-locked. You're not going to be able to get those perfect statted gems for a very long time, which, at the same time, this would also make sense, because if they lock it out by a time limit, it means that more players are going to be incentivized to buy, you know, the golden gem keys and the gem booster boxes and stuff like that for the potential of just getting a better perfect gem, rather than having to wait for the chance to re-roll your gem and maybe it ends up getting perfect. Because that's the whole thing too. While you can randomize or reselect the stats, you know, it says reselect stats on a gem, which makes me wonder, is it going to reselect it to something specific, or is it going to be the same as randomizing your gear, where you're going to randomize one specific stat on a gem, in which case, you know, you can potentially end up re-rolling health regen to max health on a DPS gem, in which case, you know, that's not exactly ideal. That's not what you wanted, right? And then also, let's say that you're re-rolling physical damage off of a gem because you want to try and get a higher stat value. So are you going to re-roll the physical damage off to another stat value and then come back to physical? In which case, again, you know, it's going to be a very slow, arduous, chaotic system to actually changing your stats on your gems, all for the fact that they still want people to purchase all of the gem boosters and stuff like that. And I don't blame them. I'm not saying it as a negative. I'm just saying, you know, I'm just trying to say it how it is. I understand where they're coming from. I understand why they're doing this. You know, and for the gem re-rolling, it makes sense because otherwise, if you could just re-roll your gems, you know, without worrying about anything, then suddenly half of the items out of the Trove store that you buy for cash would become useless. Even luck cats would potentially become useless. Now, for myself personally, I would actually prefer it if they did move in that route, because how long does it actually take to max out your gems? You know, I don't even have all my gems maxed out on my characters, but I would actually have a lot more incentive to max out my gems, and I would have a lot more incentive to actually buy gem boosters to max out my gems if I saw that there was a potential of actually getting to the end, of actually maxing out my characters and having my whole entire account as powerful as it could be. If I actually saw that at the end of the tunnel, I would be more incentivized to pay money to get gem boosters and stuff like that, as opposed to now where it's useless because you're never going to get it. The people that are at the top of the leaderboard, they either pay to win their way with thousands and thousands of dollars to get to the top, and ultimately, even on top of spending money, they got lucky. There's no skill involved. You know, and that's kind of one of the things that's a little bit disappointing about the end game, and why the end game people get so salty towards me is because I just call it like it is. But that's the beauty of Trove at the same time. That's exactly why I love this game, is because you don't have to be a rocket scientist to understand it. This isn't Diablo 3, where all of the stat values, you know, it takes somebody who's played the game for thousands of hours to be able to understand it. No, it's a quick, easy game where I can just give you a quick little tutorial and you already know exactly what you're doing. Now, I'm trying kind of getting off topic here because most of all, I just wanted to talk about the gem system here and just say that, yeah, reselecting your gem stats is definitely going to be very, very cool. But again, what's with the whole augmenting item? You know, what's going to happen with that? Are we going to end up seeing, you know, a pay-to-win item that's going to end up making your gems that much stronger? Is it going to end up adding, you know, it says add stats and power ranks. So is it just going to end up adding to all of the stats on the gem? I don't know. But the fact that it is there further points to the idea that U10 is right around the corner. So in any case, folks, you can discuss any of this stuff in the comment section down below. Maybe you think I'm an idiot, and maybe, you know, you think that some of this stuff is going to go in a completely different direction. So let me know. You know, I'm all about feedback and all about hearing your own opinions about all of this stuff. I still think that it's absolutely awesome, and I'm very, very excited about it. You know, most of all, I just want to get the point across. I have absolutely nothing against pay to win. I myself am pay to win with Trove on PC. It's just the fact that when I look at these things, I approach it in terms of the free-to-play player, the average consumer, the average player to Trove. And a lot of this stuff puts up a lot of red flags for me, where people are going to just end up quitting because they don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, and they won't be able to get it without spending hundreds of dollars. Now, that's just video games in general, especially free-to-play games. They all got a paywall. It's just Trove doesn't really do as good a job hiding it. Thanks for watching, though, folks. Very much appreciate it. Don't forget to like, share, favorite, and subscribe for more daily content. Sayonara, and stay epic, everybody.